Okay, yesterday we learned how to solve log equations. Remember, every question was written in log form and we had to rewrite them in exponential to solve them? Well, today it's just the opposite. They give us the equation in exponential form. So every one of these is given to us in b to the x equals y form. Now, whenever you're asked to solve an equation, isn't the goal to get the x by itself? So we want this x by itself on one side of the equal sign. Well, think about it. When I taught you how to write a log equation, isn't it log base b of y equals x? Doesn't that put x by itself? Okay, so let's take it from exponential form to logarithmic form so that the x will be isolated. So if this is b to the x equals y, it'll become log base of equals, right. So now we've isolated x. The only thing we have to do is actually evaluate that in our calculator. So let's go over how to do that one more time. You go to math, to log base, enter, put in the base of 2, and then the 5, and you get 2.32. That is the answer. Now let me prove to you that that's the answer. Okay, I'm going to show you how to check these. Okay, so look up at the board so you can see me type it in. Remember, the original question was 2 to the x power equals 5. 2 raised to the x power, which we're saying is 2.32, equals, isn't that basically 5? Why do you think that it doesn't say 5 exactly? Right, like we only wrote 2.32. Watch what would happen if I actually typed in the entire decimal and didn't round it off. Yep, I memorized it. Okay, so you get exactly 5. So, but that's, I mean, you don't have to do that, but you should know when something like this pops up, why it's not exactly 5, because we rounded the answer. Okay, so let's look at example 2. Isn't this in the form b to the x? Both of those things are in the x equals y. So when we rewrite it in log form, what's our base? Of equals. Okay, now what do you think I'm going to do? Well, let's go ahead and evaluate this. Log base 7 of 20. Let me show you something. Math, alpha, math. Okay, pulled it right up because I didn't know it till today. Okay, look, let me show you why that works though. When you go to math and you go down to where the log is, isn't it beside the A? You know how like we've done it before, like when you go to the thing, you don't have to scroll down, you can just hit the number beside it. Well, since it's the A is in green on the calculator, so you have to hit alpha, then that button. So that's just another little shortcut if you don't want to scroll down to it or whatever. Okay. So now we type in, yeah, 7 of 20, and we get 1.539, so we'll round that to 1.54. Okay, now to solve for x, what do we need to do? Divide by 3. And so x equals 1.54, which I'm not going to retype that in. It's already on my screen. All I need to punch in is what? Divided by 3. Because I'm already taking this number and dividing it by 3. And I get 0.51. And guys, remember, you can check any of these. Okay, watch me check this one. 7 raised to the 3 times x. And what do I need to plug in for this x? 0.51, what we got for it. Equals, okay, it's a little off, okay, because we were expecting 20, but remember, it all has to do with the rounding. If we were to type in this entire thing, and the reason that you're probably thinking, well, the other one was a lot closer. This one's, 0.6, and we're supposed to get 20. But think about it. They're taking this number and multiplying it by 3. So doesn't that make a big difference when you round it off? Because it's just not that number anymore. You're actually taking that number and multiplying it by 3. So that's why it's off. Like if we typed in that whole thing multiplied by 3 and did 7 raised to that number, it would be exactly 20. Okay, example 3. What's different about example 3? We have a plus 2. So think about it. Like this 4 to the x is your b to the x. Over here, this is your y, but that's extra. So we can't go straight into rewriting it. First, we need to get rid of that 2 by subtracting it to the other side. Now we have 4 to the x power equals what? 128. Now that we just have b to the x equals y, now we're ready to rewrite it. So log base of equals, okay, and now you just type it in. What is log base 4 of 128? 3.5? Okay, and so now I'll check it, because I like to always make sure I make 100 on the test. 4 raised to the x, which we're saying is 3.5, plus 2 equals 130. So that's how I know it's right. Okay, example 4. What's different about it? It's being multiplied by 5. Like, think about it. This is your b to the x. This is your y. So before we can rewrite it in log form, we got to get rid of that 5. How can we get rid of it? Divide it by 5. So that becomes 4 to the x equals what? 17. Now that it's just b to the x equals y, now we're ready to rewrite it. So it'll be log base of equals, and now you just type it in. Log base 4 is 17. .04 is fine. That's why I said it's fine. Okay, example 5. Do we need to do anything to this one before we rewrite it? What? No. Okay, think about it like this. Some people are going to get ahead of themselves and think, well, let's subtract this 4. But isn't that 4 an exponent? Have you ever seen 25 minus an exponent of 4? No, you can't do that. That x plus 4 is all in the x place of b to the x equals y. Okay? The 6 is the b, the 25 is the y, x plus 4 is all in the x place. So when we rewrite it, it'll be log base of equals right. Okay, now evaluate log base 6 of 25. Okay, so we'll just round it to 1.8, I guess. And now to get x by itself, what's the last step? Subtract the 4. And so what's 1.8 minus 4? Negative 2.2. And remember, any of these can be checked. You just plug it back in. 6 raised to the negative 2.2 plus 4 equals, and it'll be something very close to 25. It won't be exactly 25, and why is that? Right, we rounded the decimal. Okay, I want you to take a few minutes by yourself and try 1 through 6 by yourself. Why did you do it? Yes. Can I erase these? Okay, number 5. This is your b. Your 10 is b. X minus 3 is all in the x place. And then 4 is in the y place. So when I rewrite it, it'll be log base 10 of 4. You don't have to write it if it's log base 10, but just to keep people from getting confused, I'm going to. Well, plus you do technically on this one, you do and you don't. I mean, think about it. If you didn't write the 10, would you know how to type it in?
Yeah. You said it was log.
Right, you would just type in log 4, and that's the same thing. But, so if you don't write the 10, you've got to know how to type it in. Okay, you get .60. And now to solve for the x, what do we do? Add 3. And so x equals 3.60, because they asked us to do 2 places. Okay, any other questions? Okay, your assignment is the 6 problems on page 21. Remember, we have a 10 square this Friday. The test is either next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Over this stuff right here?
Over all of Unit 6.